Hey guys, this is my week 8 NFL picks. It's Tuesday, so I'm doing them well in advance, but I just there's a lot of really good matches this week that I wanted to talk about, so I thought I'd do the video now. On Thursday, obviously it's the Thursday night football game, and it's Miami going to New England to face my Pats, so can't wait for that. It's the second Thursday night game we've had because obviously we opened the season against the Steelers on a Thursday night. So I think obviously Miami have come off the back of 2 really good wins since firing their head coach after the Wembley game, and obviously the Pats are 6-0. I'm going to go with the Patriots though. I think the Patriots at this point are just too good for Miami, and their coach is still new at this. Basically, he's still a really young coach, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to, with such a short week as well, be able to get a game plan that'll be able to beat the Patriots. So hopefully we win, and I think we will. So, and that would put us 7-0. Then there's Detroit at Kansas City, which is a Wembley game, the third Wembley game of this year. So there's no real home field advantage for Kansas City, because it would have been one of their home games normally. So I've gone with Detroit to win this. I mean, I think they're 1-5, or 1-6 actually now. Yeah, 1-6. But I just think, to be fair, neither team is that great. I just got a feeling Detroit could win this, to be fair. So I'd like them to win as well. Yesterday they fired their offensive coordinator and 2 of their other coaches, offensive coaches, which was like mid-season. It's the Dolphins did that and it's worked all right. So obviously they haven't got rid of their head coach, so it's not that massive of a deal, but offensive coordinator is still quite big. So Detroit to win that. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Simple, Atlanta. I mean, Tampa Bay. It's quite. I don't know. It's really odd. They're just. They seem to have these really good pieces, like just some really good young players. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of their coach, Lovie Smith, to be honest, but yeah, I think obviously Atlanta struggled big time against Tennessee, but I think Atlanta will get this one, especially at home in the Dome. So Arizona, Cleveland. I think Arizona win that. They just won last night against the Ravens to go to 5-2, so confidence should be good there. And obviously they're a really good team, so I think they'll move to 6-2. San Francisco at St. Louis. No contest, St. Louis. The Rams came off a big win, and in terms of like the score, but just a big win in general for them, to keep pace with Arizona basically. So, and I think they'll beat San Francisco at home. I think that pass rush is best in the NFL. Robert Quinn, Aaron Donald, just amazing. Yeah, like their defense in general is just really good. So I think the Rams will take that one. New York Giants at New Orleans. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think that was a big win they got at Indianapolis. Obviously, the Colts aren't great this year, but the Colts pushed the Patriots, and I think the Saints will, at home, they'll be able to get past the Giants. I've just got a good feeling about that one. So, Minnesota, Chicago, Minnesota. Vikings are good this year, I think. Teddy Bridgewater is looking really good. Their defense is good. They added a couple pieces on offense. I think they're actually a really decent team this year. And I think at one point this past weekend they were 17-3 down against Detroit, and they came back to win 22-17, I think it was, 24-17, something like that. So, big comeback win, which was, once they were 17-3 down in Detroit, I didn't think they'd come back, but that just shows, I think, how much they've progressed from the young team they were a couple of years ago to now, basically. San Diego at Baltimore. We're going with the Ravens. Both teams aren't great at all. San Diego is just horrifically bad, and considering where they were a couple of years ago in the playoffs, on the verge of making the AFC Championship game, I honestly, I don't know what's happened to them. I mean, their offensive line is honestly like probably the worst in the NFL. They just have so many players injured on the offensive line. It's like basically their starting offensive line has got people who wouldn't even like make another team. Basically, they're just so bad. It's unbelievable. And Philip Rivers is just trying his best, to be honest, with a crappy team really. So, and the fact that it's in Baltimore, I've just given the edge to the Ravens for that one. I think Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. This is a tough match because Ben Roethlisberger is going to be back, and obviously at home. But the Bengals this year, 6-0, one of the few undefeated teams left. I really like the Bengals this year. So that is there's so many great games this week, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals on this one. I'm torn, to be fair. It could go either way. But whatever happens, it's a match I'm really looking forward to watching. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I like their pass rush. I like their offense. Even though Andy Dalton he still needs to prove to me in the playoffs he can do it. But regular season, man, he's a beast. So Cincinnati, I think. Tennessee, Houston. So I go from talking about that match, Bengals at Steelers, one of the high-profile matches of the season, to Houston, Tennessee. Honestly, who gives a fuck? No one. Houston are terrible. I was watching the Pats Jets game with my mate, but we had like the Houston Tennessee score up on my laptop, and every time I'd look back at the screen, touchdown Miami, 7-0, 14-0, 21-0, and it's still in the first quarter. And I think it was 28-0 to Miami in the first quarter. That's how bad Houston are. That they don't suck. They're far past sucking at this point. It's mind-boggling because their defense on paper is good. Obviously, they haven't got a great quarterback, but they've still got DeAndre Hopkins leads the NFL in receiving, and he's a beast. But they have, even though you could understand them not winning many games because they don't have a quarterback, they're still. It's not like one of those teams that doesn't have a quarterback and they just don't have many great players at all. They have great players. It's just it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. I just don't get to see. I can't even speak about them. It's just I don't know where they've gone since, because obviously when they made the playoffs a few years ago and were like 14-2 and they had Matt Schaub, he's not exactly like the world's greatest QB either, is he? And they're still, similar in terms of talent outside the quarterback position, but it's just all gone downhill for them. So, yeah, I can't really tell you what's gone on there. So I'm going to go with Tennessee. They might have Marcus Mariota back, who's been really impressive as a rookie. So, yeah, Tennessee. New York Jets at Oakland. This is actually a really good match. A match I'm looking forward to because the Jets obviously just lost to the Pats, but before that were 5-1. Were they? No, they might be 4-1 actually. Sorry, 4-1. But Oakland got a big win this week as well, and I think both teams are on the up. That Oakland especially just look really good this year, which is I'm glad to see a team that's been having so many years of suffering in terms of just really not being a great team at all, and so for them to finally be such a good, well, I wouldn't say such a good team, but just to be progressing the way they are is really good to see. And I've actually got Oakland winning this game because one, it's in Oakland, and I just think they are too very close match teams. So Oakland, I think, with that one. Seattle at Dallas. If Dallas had Tony Romo back for this match, they're gonna have Des Bryant back, which is huge, but they still have no QB. So if they had Tony Romo, I probably would have gone Dallas this year. But I'm gonna go with Seattle. So yeah, Tony Romo is everything to the Cowboys. Green Bay at Denver, best matchup of potentially the season so far. Because it's going to be Aaron Rodgers versus that defense, man. That is going to be insane to watch. That pass rush is something else in Denver. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, that's something else, to be honest. But then Aaron Rodgers is, the man basically. So that's going to be great. And Green Bay's defense is really good as well this year. And Peyton Manning side switches, amazing to see, to be fair. And I'm going to go Green Bay, even though it's in Denver. I'm going to go with the Packers to win that and stay undefeated, and obviously the Broncos to lose their undefeated streak. And then the last game, the Monday night game, is Indianapolis at Carolina. Carolina 6-0. Probably, I'm just so impressed with what they've done without any receivers basically this year. And before the year, you'd never have guessed Carolina as one of the teams that could be undefeated at this stage, but they've just week in, week out, they've impressed, and obviously they got that win in Seattle. Then they beat the Eagles this past weekend. So I've got Carolina winning that. I don't think Indianapolis will go to Carolina and beat the Panthers. Cam Newton's playing lights out, so yeah, that's going to be a great game. So that's my Week 8 picks, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you soon.